Hi all. Today we are going to see a case study on why so many web browsers. The objective of the case study is to analyze the web browser and analyze the core features of web browsers like Microsoft IE, Apple Safari, Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. Though there are many other web browsers, but these four are most popular today. So we are going to see the core features of these four browsers alone. And finally, the usage and user experience of web browsers. I did a little survey on that. We are going to see that. Okay. And before going to see in-depth core features of all the browsers, let's see what a web browsers are. So web browser is a software application that acts as a client to contact the web server and request information. When we search something on Google and click on the link or enter an URL in the address bar, the web server locates and sends the information we just requested to the web browser. It does by first performing the DNS, so that is a domain name system to look to find the correct IP address. After that, it sends the HTTP request. That's nothing but a hypertext transfer protocol request to the web server, which sends the response with HTML, CSS and other content files to the browser. The browser then communicates with the network to ask for all the documents that make up the page. Browsers can simply display other more advanced materials like interactivity, animations made with JavaScripts with internal JavaScript interpreters. And so in the screen we are seeing some of the icons of web browsers, and first one everyone can easily identify it as a Microsoft Internet Explorer, this one, and this is Mozilla's Firefox, Apple Safari, Netscape Navigator, Google Chrome, Mosaic browser, Opera, and this is a Flock browser, this is Conqueror, and this one is a UC browser, Maxathon, and this is Camino web browsers. Okay, with this little knowledge on web browser, let's see the history of web browsers. So in 1990, Tim Berners-Lee he developed the World Wide Web at Centre European Centre European Research for Nuclear. So that is here translated in French, CERN, and since the web browser World Wide Web, this conflicts with the real www, then it was later renamed as Nexus. In 1993, Mark Andreessen's Mosaic at the National Center for Supercomputing Applications, NCSA, was the first browser to allow images embedded in text, making it the world's first most popular browser. Then followed by in 1943, Mark Andreessen resigned from NCSA, that is National Center for Supercomputing Applications, NCSA means, and he formed a Netscape Communication Corporation in collaboration with Jim Clark. The period from 1994 to 97 marked the dominance of Netscape as several versions of browsers were released. The first web browser developed by Netscape was called as Netscape Navigator or simply Netscape, which support advanced HTML tags and multiple TCP/IP connections. And in 1996, Netscape 1 was succeeded by Netscape 2 supporting JavaScript, followed by Netscape 3 in 96, which supported mouse over features. Mouse over feature means when we keep the mouser on some images or something else, it will display what that image, something like tooltip. Okay. Then in 1995, Internet Explorer made its debut as Microsoft's first web browser that supports CSS, that's cascading style sheets. In 1996, Opera, an open source model which made it capable of running on any operating system. Then in 2003, Apple Safari browser was released specifically for Macintosh computers. Instead of Netscape Navigator, Netscape Navigator was replaced by Apple's Safari browser. Earlier, Apple uses Netscape Navigator browser in its computer system. And in 2004, Mozilla launched Firefox as Netscape Navigator faded out at that time. In 2008, Google Chrome appeared to soon take over the browser market, followed by 2015, Microsoft Edge was born to combat Google. Okay, so with this little introduction about the history of web browsers, we'll look around what's happening really behind the web browser. So the main components of web browsers are displayed or given in this diagram. The user interface, this includes the address bar, back and forward button, bookmarking menu, minimize, maximize, exit buttons, tabs, so on so things. These are all standard for in all browsers. The browser engine, it organizes actions between the user interface and the rendering engine. The core part of the browser is rendering engine. So it is responsible for displaying requested content. For example, if the requested content is HTML, the rendering engine parses HTML and CSS and displays the parsed content on the screen. The rendering engine of every browser is different, which means a web page will likely look different depending on the browser which we are using it. For example, Internet Explorer uses the rendering engine named as Trident. Firefox uses the rendering engine Gecko. Safari uses WebKit. Chrome and Opera browser uses Blink rendering engine. And coming to the networking component, it is for network calls such as HTTP request using different implementations for different platforms behind a platform independent interface. The UI backend used for drawing basic widgets like combo boxes and windows. This backend exposes a generic interface that is not a platform specific. Underneath, it uses operating system user interface methods. So JavaScript interpreter used to parse and execute the JavaScript code. Okay, then coming to the data persistence. So data storage. Okay, basically it is this is the persistence layer. The browser may need to save all sorts of data locally, such as cookies, something like that. Browser also support storage mechanisms such as local store, IndexedDB, WebSQL and file systems. So this is the these are the things happening behind the web browsers. Okay, the core part is rendering engine that does everything for us and between us and the server, web server. And coming to the browser wars, so war means it doesn't mean a fight between two. So it's a competition for dominance in the usage share of web browsers. The first browser war during the late 90s between Microsoft Internet Explorer and Netscape's Navigator. Netscape had previously been leading the market, but with the release of IE, Microsoft took the lead. Since it was automatically included in Windows OS, it became the standard for many desktop users. Similarly, when Safari came in 2003, Macintosh users were previously depending on Netscape Navigator browser or IE. Then Safari being pre-installed in Apple's OS mean that it gained control over the desktop market. After some time of IE beating out Netscape Navigator, Netscape made the code for the browser open source and gave it to Mozilla. However, when Firefox was introduced in 2004, it saw a rapid rise in popularity for a few years. That is until Google Chrome was released in 2008 and quickly fought to be the favored browser, which we still see today. Of course, in between, we have also seen increased mobile use and differences in mobile browsers, as well as introduction of HTML5 and CSS3. This all contributes to the browser wars between Internet Explorer, Safari, and many other browsers, including recent Microsoft Edge to be the preferred browser for surfing the World Wide Web. That competition comes in the form of frequent browser updates and version release that we may notice today, as each browser tries to one-up the other in speed, security, features and design. However, there is still no defined winner of the browser. Okay. Now we'll move on to explore the main four browsers which we have said earlier, one by one, the main core features. The first is Internet Explorer, formerly Microsoft Internet Explorer and Windows Internet Explorer. It has wide versions starting from 2 to 11, and recently Microsoft Edge in the year 2015. It is a graphical web browser developed by Microsoft and included in the Microsoft Windows operating system starting in 1995. So Internet Explorer was once the most widely used web browser, attaining a peak of about 95% usage share in 2003. Its usage share has declined with the launch of Firefox in the year 2004 and followed by Google Chrome 2008, and with the growing popularity of operating systems such as Android and iOS that do not support IE. And coming to security vulnerabilities, IE has been the subjected to many security vulnerabilities and concerns such as spyware, adware, computer viruses across the internet. A number of security flaws affecting IE originated not in the browser by itself but by its add-ons, mainly an add-on named as ActiveX based ActiveX component. So more than 100 vulnerabilities in standard Microsoft ActiveX components have been found. German government followed by Australian and French government issued warning against using IE and recommended switching to the alternate web browser. Majority vulnerabilities across the versions 6 to 11 which allows remote code execution. So that leads to the complete compromise of the user. Symantec, a cybersecurity firm, confirmed that the vulnerability crashes Internet Explorer or Windows XP, but it was later resolved with an security update. So from this chart we could see Microsoft Internet Explorer was peak in the duration around more than 80% from 2000 to close to 2004-5. Okay, it was peak, and later it started decline by the introduction of browsers like Firefox, Chrome, so and so. And coming to Mozilla Firefox, or simply Mozilla, Firefox or Mozilla Firefox. It's a free and open source web browser developed by Mozilla Foundation. It uses Gecko rendering engine. It is officially available on Windows 7 and Mac OS and Linux. Firefox was created in 2002 under the codename Phoenix by the Mozilla. It was renamed to Firebird because of trademark issues with Phoenix Technologies. Later then, it provoked again intense response from Firebird free database software project. So in response to that, Mozilla Firebird forced to change again its name as what we say today as Mozilla Firefox. So Firefox proved to be popular with its tester and was praised for its speed, security, add-ons compared to Microsoft IE. Firefox usage grew to a peak of 32% at the end of 2009. Usage later declined due to the competition with Chrome. As on 2020 May, I mean this month, Firefox has 9% usage share as the desktop browser according to StatCounter. So which is a web traffic analysis site which says the Firefox has 9% usage share as a desktop browser. That makes it the third most popular browser after Google Chrome, which is currently 68% share, followed by Safari, which is 9%. Okay. Usage share across all platforms is lower at 4% by the Firefox, which is the third most popular overall. Overall means in all kinds of platforms. Okay, mobile, desktop, laptop, etc. And coming to the features of Mozilla Firefox. So some features include tabbed browsing, so which is a graphical control element that allows multiple documents or panels to be contained within a single window. Spell checking, which we know we know about the spell checking. Then the other feature is incremental search. As the user types text, one or more possible matches for the text are found and immediately presented to the user. And a feature called Download Manager, which is a software tool that manages a downloading of files from the internet. Then a feature called Private Browsing, which allows the browser creates a temporary session that is isolated from browser's main session and user data. So browser history is not saved and local data associated with the session such as cookies are cleared when the session is closed. So that's a private browsing. And we have a number of features are there. And finally, Firefox provides an environment for web developers in which they can use built-in tools such as Error Console or DOM Inspector. DOM, that means Document Object Module. And coming to the security, being an open source web browser, Firefox is constantly reviewed and updated by thousands of security experts. With the help of Google, Firefox team has developed a protection against untrusted sites. If the site we are entering is suspected to be malicious, Firefox will show a message indicating that we shouldn't go further. Firefox will not allow any software to be installed automatically. We will always be noticed if website request any specific installation. If we will see a dialog asking to install an unknown program or plugin, simply just click cancel. Okay, so this is all about the Mozilla Firefox web browser. And still I missed few features like if we in Firefox, if we see the web content is too small to read, we can just simply press control plus to enlarge to read and control minus to shrink the content. And we have an awesome bar which almost all browsers today are using. So which means when we type something in the URL, a drop down appears with information about the site which we are seeking. Okay, so that is said to be an awesome browser in Firefox, in which almost all web browsers today are using this concept. When we type something on the URL, it automatically displays information that we are seeking. And coming to Safari, Safari is a graphical web browser. So it is developed by Apple based on the WebKit rendering engine. It was first released in 2003 with Mac OS X Panther. Until 1997, Apple's Macintosh computers shipped with the Netscape Navigator IE web browsers. So IE for Mac was later included as the default browser for Mac. Okay. Then in 2003, Steve Jobs announced that Apple has developed its own web browser named Safari. And talking about its few features, called tab browsing, which we already knowing about it. Tab browsing, it means we can, in a single browser window, we can open n number of tabs simultaneously. And smart address field. So smart address field means when we it finds sites which we have recently been to. So remembering those long URLs can be difficult for us. So this feature will allow us to type in the title or the topic of the page which we recently viewed, and that will be displayed, okay, as a suggestion for the user. And Safari uses something called as Safari Nitro engine, which executes the JavaScript. So because of that Nitro engine, Safari seems to be 8 times faster than IE 8 and more than 4 times faster than Firefox 3. Okay, and still we have some few features like snapback, browsing and search snapback. So it means when we search a word or a phrase into Safari's address bar, the first link in the returned results looks promising for us, then we will be clicking on it. So on the side we are sent to, we seek another link about a related topic and we click it again. Moments later, another link grabs our attention, and soon after we will be distracted from our subject. So Safari snapback helps us to bring back our original search results. Okay, so when we get distracted, it will bring this feature helps us to bring back to our original subject. And we have one more feature called as Safari Reader, which is used to bring forward the important features of a web article. Okay, so when we search a web article, so we come along with the advertisement. So to read the web article alone, just go to the URL, right click and enable this use reader when available. Once if we click, so all the advertisement goes off and we could read only the content or the article which we are interested in. So that is by means of Safari reader feature. Okay, and talking about its privacy and security. So it has an advanced security features. It offers safe browsing experience. Safari also allows us to control what information we share online, keeping our personal information private. So website security indicator. So whenever we navigate to an encrypted website, the Safari will display a security indicator like this one to the left of the web address. So we are safe to navigate the website. Privacy settings. Safari allows us to control some of the information we share online, which we can modify in our privacy settings. So private browsing, as we see in the earlier browser also. So it allows us to browse the web without recording the history and storing the cookies, which we could enable in file in file menu, just we could use a new private window instead of new window. So when we choose new private window for navigating the websites, so nothing is saved in the background. And finally, moving to the Google Chrome, a cross-platform web browser developed by Google, released in 2008. It uses a Blink rendering engine, and Google Chrome was later ported to almost all kinds of OS like Linux, Mac OS, iOS, and Android. So initially, WebKit was its rendering engine. Later, it moves on to using Blink engine. So in as per 2020 status, state counter, which I said earlier, website traffic analysis, it analyzes 68 percentage of today's market share is in Chrome. And so I'm talking about its few features like Omnibox, which is merging of the address bar and search bar. And Chrome allows users to synchronize their bookmarks, history, and settings across all devices either through Google credentials or a sync passphrase. And about security, so Chrome periodically retrieves updates of two blacklists. One is phishing and the other is malware, and warns users when they attempt to visit a site flagged as potentially harmful. So security vulnerabilities in Chrome occur mainly due to Adobe Flash Player. So it disables Flash for ads and background analytics. Flash would then be re-enabled with the exclusion of ads and background analytics on side-by-side basis instead of entire browser. Malware blocking and ad blocking. So Google introduced download scanning protection in Chrome. Sites that employ invasive ads are given a 30-day warning, after which their ads will be blocked. So, and of course it allows private browsing feature called incognito. It prevents the browser from permanently storing history information, cookies, site data, etc. for the again browser while navigating the site. Okay, so with these features of all the browsers, let's move on to usage and user experience of web browsers. So for this I did a small survey. So the survey results with the 73% of male candidates and an age group of around 15 to 25. Mainly those group use the computer for learning purpose, and mostly they used to discuss among their friends about the topic. Mainly for they used to converse related to IoT today, and they spend more or less 3 hours of time in the internet, and their preferred default browser is it goes to Google Chrome, and the next one is Firefox, and the remaining part goes to other web browsers. And so among that survey, no people said that their computer gets affected in the past 6 months. So everyone said no. So whoever it is, whether they are Mozilla Firefox user or Chrome, Safari, or UC browsers, they said no, they haven't affected by any viruses from the past 6 months. And they describe the service of IE mainly 26 this for efficient and fast. They describe Internet Explorer is for efficiency and fast. Okay, and the users describe Safari mainly for 42% reliability. So the people prefer Safari as a reliable browser even when compared to IE or Chrome also. So Chrome they describe Chrome is very fast, but Safari is very reliable, whereas IE is efficient and fast. And coming to Firefox, 52% of people said they are efficient. So Firefox is very efficient. Okay, and browser advertisement people often see in 52% is Google Chrome. Okay, so with this little survey of your user experience in our college students, so let's compare that with the global statistics. Global statistics says the usage share of all the browsers. Okay, so Chrome tops first, followed by Safari and Firefox. Similarly, so with our survey, the default browser for most of the users goes Chrome 78.9%, Firefox is 15.8%, and they describe the services of each and every browser like this. Efficiency and fast is IE. For reliability, Safari picks the top, and Google Chrome goes for fast with 47% vote, and Firefox for its efficiency. Okay, thank you for listening.